Welcome to the Amazing Authorities Podcast, where game changers, visionaries, and category leaders share how they built their brands, platforms, and global influence. Your host is Mitch Carson, international speaker, media strategist, and creator of the Instant Authority System. If you're ready to learn from those who've done it and want to become the go-to expert in your space, you're in the right place.
Today's guest, now I'm not going to use the standard introduction as special because that's overused and that almost sounds like an AI robot saying today's special guest is Marcus Norman. But he isn't special, he's beyond special. He is a gentleman, a scholar, and a podcast professional, and our relationship started with me being on his podcast, the Gentleman Style Podcast, and that's how I would define and refer to Marcus, because I'm truly honored to have him as a guest on my show for you today, because he will not only dispense nuggets clearly, concisely, and usable for you to apply in your life. He's truly a gentleman. He's a class act. He's got style. I highly recommend you tune into his podcast, Gentleman Style Podcast. So I'm seating him well before we even begin. Now, what I like about him is how he handled me as a professional, and how you handle others means everything. It's exactly how you handle one thing is how you handle all things. There are rare exceptions. And Marcus, all I can say is I'm truly grateful you're here today. Thank you. You're a Virginia gentleman, and I'm talking to you all the way from Thailand because I'm now a semi-retired senior citizen living my life and tuning in with you. And welcome to the show, Marcus.
Mr. Carson, thank you for having me. You have a fantastic show. You're a fantastic person, heart of gold, a true professional, and wise beyond your years. So thank you for having me. It's a true honor to be here. I am humbled by you, sir.
All right. Well, I just want to jump right in how the listeners can benefit from you. We've given mutual accolades. That's great. We're in the bro code. Now let's go ahead and jump in. I was fascinated, have been for years, with passive income. It's a buzzword. How to create a passive income, money while you sleep. It's something, let's just say, renters get, or people who own income producing properties, but that's not just passive income. There's some work component to it. And your sweet spot seems to be two categories. Let's talk about the first, which I like, is ATM. Tell me about how you got into that and how others can.
Great question. Thank you. The ATM business was a very unique business for me. Number one, I hail all the way from the U.S. Virgin Islands, so the Caribbean, and I made my way to the continental United States via the military. And I found myself investing in the ATM because after I had worked my butt off, worked in corporate America, done all the things, had 3, 4, 5 jobs at one point, I realized I was sitting on a pile of cash and I didn't know what to do with it. And so I asked the question, and I literally went on Google and I said, I have this lump sum of money. What can I do with it? And the top search engine search at the time was start an ATM business. And so did my research, did my due diligence a little bit, didn't get locked into analysis paralysis, but stayed the course and studied enough to become dangerous. And within 2 weeks, I had bought my first ATM. My first month, I had placed my ATM. And within 1 hour, had made my first revenue, made my first dollar cash flow from the ATM business. So it didn't take me long to get started, and it didn't take me long to become really engulfed in this new passive income stream. But ATMs is not new to any of us, right?
No.
It's the easiest sell I have ever had. And I've been in sales, right? I sold insurance, I sold cars, I sold everything. It's the easiest sell because it's the one thing you don't have to explain. If I say to you, Mitch, do you want an ATM in your store, in your shop, at your gas station? You instantly click. It's not auto insurance. It's not life insurance where you need an explanation and you need a panoramic view and you need a pie chart. You know how an ATM works and you instantly automatically connect with me. So it was the easiest sell, and I've been doing it ever since. I've been doing it since 2016.
Now,
True.
tell me what are your first ATM? I'm sure the numbers have changed or evolved since your first one. What did you invest? And I'm going to put you on the spot if you wouldn't mind. What did you invest? And what's your income from that first machine? And where was it?
That's a great question. So the first machine, the investment, I got a traditional stand-up model ATM, and
Hmm.
those I get all my ATMs brand new. Do not buy broken, used, refurbished ATMs. Please, please, please save yourself the hassle. Get a brand new ATM. I bought my first ATM. It was a $2,500 investment.
Oh, that's cheap.
2,500. It's very cheap. I bought it all cash, no debt, no financing, no small business loan, all cash. Bought it for $2,500. Found a business location, and I charged a $4 fee on that ATM per transaction. So to most people, that's not a lot of money, right? To most people, that's not going to change your life. That's not going to change a paradigm shift at $4. But if you times $4 times 10 transactions per day, because the business pays you per day. So that's 4 times 10 is 10 transactions. That's $40 a day. Well, again, that's still not life changing, but times that with 30 days in a calendar month. And now you are looking at $1,200 per month. And so that's one location, one ATM at a $4 fee, making you daily revenue streams for the rest of your life.
I'm
And I
liking
was
that. It's
sold
called the
since then.
River of Nickels, isn't it?
It is. It's absolutely is. I got almost half of my investment in 1 month already a return on ROI. Half of my initial investment of 2,500K, $2,500.
Okay, so let me go a step further. That's a lot less than I thought these machines sold for. So all right, maybe they're more expensive now, but that's $2,500 for that stand-up model. How much do you have to give the establishment?
So you can split it. I offer the establishment a percentage. I offer percentages. You can also offer a flat rate. So I offered them $1. Here's the funny thing about this, my first location. They didn't want any of the money. They wanted it was a nonprofit business that serviced and helped senior citizens and HUD home citizens. So the
Ah,
organization wanted none of the profits. And so all of that money was mine. The benefit, they were just happy to be able to provide their assisted elderly community who was disabled, who were in wheelchairs, who couldn't cross the street. It was dangerous, right? That's how they typically got their cash. Or if they didn't have Medicaid or some subsidized program, they had to go across the street and run the possibility of getting run over because it was across from a major highway and byway. And so they were just happy to be able to allow their residents to get cash when they needed it and do all their banking in-house in the building.
wow. And are you still placed there today, 9 years later?
I'm still there to this day.
And is it still making that kind of money?
It's making that kind of money. It's making more because the fee has gone up slightly, but
And I
not a whole lot.
but do
It's,
you
I think
share revenues with them today, or is it still they pass
they,
it all to you?
they they still don't want any cut of the profits.
Oh my gosh. So you're using their electricity, although it's probably not much. You
Right.
get a fee off that. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. So all right, that seems like an ideal scenario. I don't want to pop the success balloon. Are all of those situations, is that an atypical situation, or let's say machine number two?
Machine number two was not as profitable
Okay.
because, like I said, I split some of the revenue with the business owner. But again, if you can offer a small fraction, because I fill the machines, I load the machines, I maintain the machines. So again, when I talk to Mitch about his business and I say, Mitch, I'm going to use no more electricity than that television that you got turned off. So I'm not going to use a whole bunch of I'm not going to add to your electricity bill. And I'm going to give you a profit share just in case to cover that and plus more, right? And I'm gonna give you a portion of that. But hey, I got costs too. I have to maintain the machine. I have to service the machine. I have to replace the ink. I have to replace the toner. I have to replace the money. And I have to go to the bank. I have to be the one to go to the bank and restock this ATM for you. So I need a bigger cut than you. Is that fair, Mitch? Is that a fair ask?
Nice. Well, you're a skilled salesman. I just heard you go through the process. That's a salesman right there, man. You sold it. Features, benefits, close. Asking for the close. Asking the fair question. Now let me ask. So today, how many machines have you placed?
I have placed to this date about 13 ATMs. So I
Okay.
manage a small portfolio of 13 ATMs.
Are they all profitable?
They are all profitable. Bought them brand new, serviced them brand new, maintained them myself. Um, all profitable from day one. No debt, no financing, no loans, no small business administration involved.
Now, do you teach others, just to give you a little bit of a business plug here? Do you consult others how to do the same? I'm
So
living
great.
outside of the country, so it's not. I'm not. But some of these listeners might be intrigued because this is pretty cool stuff, Marcus.
Thank you. I do not teach.
Okay.
What I have done is what you're doing. I have interviewed experts and professionals who are teaching and do have a course in the business.
Okay.
But I on my podcast, if you want to connect with those true professionals who truly give, check out my podcast. But that's what I do. And so I refer you to Mitch, the professional who actually teaches and does it at a high level. I do not charge a fee. I haven't written any books, but I believe in what I'm telling you, right? Because I'm doing it myself. And who better to trust than the person that's saying, "Hey, I trust Mitch with my life." So guess
Got
what?
it.
People automatically do. They trust Mitch because I
Oh,
do.
wow. So you all right? So these are people that they can go. We can go to the Gentleman Podcast and learn who does this for those people. Well, that's a fantastic story. So you got 13 machines kicking cash off, and you've broken even on. How long does it usually take to break even on that investment?
So that investment can range anywhere from 2 to 3 months, just depending on the cash flow. Again, depending
Right.
on the location,
Of
right?
course.
If I the day I ever get a casino, Mitch, I'm calling you, and we're both flying to Bangkok because
Okay.
casinos do high volume, and
Huge.
so huge
Huge.
volume, massive volume.
I would imagine that they have their own machines.
The state provides the machines, unfortunately.
Ah, okay. Because I lived in Vegas for a number of years, and I know that
Yep.
that would be a dream account, but an impossible to get account.
It's very hard. It's very hard. But if I landed one of those, I would be right there next to you in Bangkok, Thailand, living the
Yeah.
dreamland, and we would both have a margarita together.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. So, all right. So that is one of your investment portfolios, and the other thing you're involved in is property. And,
Yes, sir.
yeah, and at one time I had Pepsi Cola machines and a route. It was very similar. I had to, have the beverages reloaded, and you collect the cash and do all that. And I had to siphon off a portion of that to cover the electricity and the investment. It was this very similar pitch, but it was a Pepsi Cola product. I like yours because that's a money product. It's good. So let's talk about a little bit of what you do to coach people.
Absolutely. So I coach people and I support people. I'm speaking in a summer Road to Higher event that's going to have 250 college students.
Oh, great.
And what I try to encourage and instill in anyone that I speak to or coach or mentor is there's hope and to not give up. We are dealing in an age of hopelessness, and I feel entrepreneurship and small business and siding with partners and mentors is the way. The 9 to 5 job is no longer the safety net. Go to college, get the debt, get the student loan debt, buy the house, get the wife, get the dog, get the picket fence. That's not going to cut it anymore. So I teach and I encourage people to try entrepreneurship. You are the best investment. Investing in yourself is far better than investing in the 401k plan that your job is going to give you, because that is you're going to turn around and look up. The hardest thing for me was when I was selling life insurance, I met someone who had worked at the government at the VA, Department of VA, and she had worked there for 40 years. She was 70 years old, and I'm looking at trying to help her diversify her portfolio and invest so she could retire. After 40 years for the federal government, all she had saved and invested was $50,000. And this money is supposed to last the rest of her life. It's those moments that I speak to. And it's those moments that I coach to and try to encourage people is you need to do something outside of yourself. You need to invest money, time, and resources, and don't be afraid to pay a professional. Don't be afraid to pay for a mentor, a guide, someone to steward you and put their stamp of approval the same way you do, Mitch, and
Right.
coach people to success because you have done this for so long. Too many people try and skip. They try and do it themselves. They try and watch YouTube University, and all those things can work. But you're gonna find that you could have shortcutted by just taking the Mitch Carson way, right?
Mm.
Because Mitch Carson has already done it. So I am a firm believer in entrepreneurship and investing in yourself and investing in a mentor and a coach to take you to the next level.
Well, even let's talk about the biggest coaches in the world based on the goats of their sports. Who did Tiger Woods have as his coach? Who did, you could argue his father was one that mentored him. That would be one way to look at it. Let's look at Michael Jordan. Who did he have?
His
He
father.
had Phil Jackson. He had
Yep.
his father, and he had Phil Jackson that help guide him to earn and believe that he could earn 6 rings. Now, Michael Jordan is a unique individual, but Kobe Bryant had the same coach. Isn't it interesting? Some of the greatest in the sport went to Phil Jackson as an example. Now, was Phil the best basketball player? I think he was decent. I mean, he was obviously good because he played in the NBA. He was for the New York Knicks, but he wasn't at the level of a Kobe or a Michael Jordan, not even close. But they respected him enough. I think respect is the key here because not everybody has that. I mean, Mike Tyson, who's arguably one of the most significant boxers, he wasn't the best ever. He had, Evander Holyfield beat him and so forth, and a few others, Lennox Lewis. But Mike Tyson had Gus D'Amato to guide him in his early days, to instill in that mindset, you can be the best. And surely he was the rock'em sock'em robot for many years, and he was a scary dude. I saw him at the gym once in LA where I lived during his reign, and I walked up behind and I knew who he was immediately because when I saw that neck that went right into his shoulders and he turned around and he had one of those gold or silver teeth at the time and he gave me this, he went like this. I shook to the core.
Of pure muscle, right? You're looking at a mountain.
He was scary. This was around, he was in his 20s then. And I remember looking at this like, oh my God, if he hit me, I think my unborn children would feel it. But that's, but those people have all had coaches. They've all had coaches and mentors because I think I've had business mentors. I had a mentor in my life. I mean, who was your mentor and how did this person affect you, Marcus?
I've had numerous mentors. What got me kind of started in entrepreneurship was my coach in network marketing. I had joined a multi-level marketing company, and my coach at the time, Ronaldo Reynolds, he was incredible. He had a beautiful family. He had the beautiful house. He had the kids, and he had the entrepreneurship, and he just had the life. And to this day, he's still my mentor, and he still speaks life into me when I ask. He's very busy, but he makes time if I stress how important, significant. He's the reason why I just bought a mental health franchise.
Wow.
So Ronaldo Randall is his name. He has been and my father, of course, and my father, but was the first mentor, but currently still to this day, Ronaldo Randall, he is a huge impact in my life and why I'm even in the entrepreneurial space.
Now, you mentioned MLMs. Okay, I love the idea of the ATMs. Everybody gets it immediately. You've got 13 money-making revenue streams of rivers of nickels, of dollars. Let's just call it gold coins, Cougarans at some locations, like this old folks' home. It's great. Tell me about MLM and what your opinion is on that today. Do you care to share which one you were in, or do you want to keep it silent?
I'm not. I don't mind. It was 5 Links. Was the name of the multi-level. Yeah. It was. That was the one at the time. So 5 Links at the time, they had a very similar track to what I still see in the market today, where sell, get new partners, get people under you, and they had products, but the products stopped working,
Got it.
and they had lost a major contract. It's not a positive endeavor. And so when people come to me about MLM, I tell them what I just said to you and your audience is invest in yourself. MLM is not designed for you to win. It's not structured for you to win. And it's if your compensation is factored off of you getting more partners than you actually selling products, it's not designed for you to win. You're not going to win. And the other thing is burnout. You network, your network is your net worth. MLM and their marketing and how they teach you destroys networks, because I have alienated so many families, so many friends, so many loved ones, because they're afraid to talk to me,
No,
because
I
they know
get
I'm
it.
going
You're
to
going
sell
to
them
pitch them
something.
again.
I'm going to pitch them again. If you truly believe network is your net worth, then MLM is not the way. Invest in yourself, invest in your own business, sell your own products, actually do what they say they're going to do. And that is a better path to success. The people
I
at the
would
top in MLM are already at the top. And
Right. It's a Ponzi, or not a Ponzi. It's a pyramid scheme. It really is in so many ways. I, in my early days, was involved in Amway as a
I
boy.
remember
I used to go
my mom
door to
was.
I would go door to door, Marcus, at 10 years old, and with this soap, and I would knock on the door. My mother dispatched me. I was a fearless kid, and I'd knock on the doors of the neighbors. I've got this soap. Pay me 3 times what it costs for Tide, but it's better because it's from Amway. And I think out of pity, some people would buy, and most said shoe, and I did that along with my paper route, which again that was a difficult job, but one they had to do every day, and it taught me discipline. But
Whew.
the knocking on the doors taught me a lot. You have to overcome that rejection. But I realized I was cut for sales because all I looked at was the first objection or first rejection, and they had multiple objections, was, okay, that one's off. Well, there's an opportunity next door. And I continued, and I found the people, because there's always someone that will buy. You just have to be persistent and get through that and handle rejection. And it's not, and just reframe it. It's not rejection. It's just the opportunity isn't ready for them yet. And that's how I did that. But boy, Amway was that was a tough sell, man, because the prices were 3 times what the going retail rate was. And the only people that got very wealthy were the people at the top, the diamonds and so forth.
The people already at the top. And my mother was in Amway. Amway was the top dog. But the products my mom sold, they actually worked, if I can remember correctly.
Yes.
They actually
SA8
did
soap.
work.
Yeah.
So it was multi-level marketing, but it actually worked. The versions of multi-level marketing now, I wouldn't sell it to my best friend. If I care about you and I'm selling a multi-level marketing product, I don't care about you.
Well, you get brainwashed with the opportunity, and it is not product focused. It's wide and deep focused. How do you get more people in your network? And it's a variety of products. I mean, and regrettably, I got involved in a second one when it was a water machine called Kangen. And the machine was great, but it was 3 times the price of what it should have been for alkaline water. And it was a great product, but 3 times the price. And it's because you had to pay all the way to the corporate office in Japan. And it ruins relationships because people are afraid to talk to you. Oh, shoot, Mitch is going to pitch me. Mitch Pitch is what I used to be referred to. Mitch Pitch.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Mitch Pitch. Yeah, I know you can appreciate that. Hey, Marcus, you have provided great value. I love our back and forth. Let's do this again. And I want to talk, because you've got so many different ventures you're in. Tease the audience. What can we talk about next time? Because there's absolutely going to be a part 2 to Marcus Norman, the Gentleman Podcast Professional. What would you like to share with people that we didn't today? And yes, this is an open loop. It's a sales technique. So you can listen in to Marcus next time because we covered the ATMs, also schooled us well, and which I concur completely about the MLM business model. Let's just call it that. The products are almost secondary. You're going to pay triple and ruin relationships.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What I'd like to tease folks, the next thing I'd like to cover is buying your first franchise and the cannabis dispensary space and real estate, if that's okay with you.
No, I think those are all current and trending and have been around. The cannabis and the dispensary business is newer, but it's interesting. Here I am in Thailand, and they are several per block, which at one time, well, this is an evolution of the business model and laws. At one time, if you got caught with any kind of drug in Thailand, you're looking at 6 years minimum. And obviously it rises based on the quantity you get caught with. Today, everywhere in the city of Bangkok, I'm in an area called Jomtien Beach. If I were to look out my window, I see the ocean out of one side. If I go look a little lower, I'm on the 17th floor on the ground level. I can see 3 cannabis operations on one block.
Wow.
They are
sounds like I'm
everywhere.
Sounds like I'm going to be moving sooner than I thought.
It's oversaturated. And I don't know how any of them are surviving. I think when they were at the first level, if they were at the top of the pyramid, they were making money. Now they're struggling because there are so many of them. It went from, it just flipped upside down from serious legal ramifications of getting caught with pot, because it used to be Thai sticks. I remember when I was in high school, that's what people smoked, was the Thai sticks. It was this coveted weed that people went after. Today, it's commonplace. There are all sorts of weed dispensaries, which is the retail outlet. I think the money is in growing, potentially, is to be a grower and to be in the top of the supply chain, which we can get into in the next conversation. This is my outside observation. I'm not in that business because I see now it's almost saturated here. I don't know what it's like in Virginia. Is it state by state or is it federal at this point?
It's still state by state, and federal is still illegal.
Yes, interesting.
Sir.
Interesting.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we'll jump into that. And I love about franchise operation because that's a proven business model that just takes you to come in and run based on a good system. So let's do that in part 2. Marcus, wealth of information. Check out the Gentleman Style podcast. I was a guest on his show. He did such an exceptional job. I invited him to be a guest on mine. It's not just reciprocity. It's because he is a gentleman and a professional, and it's a great show. I recommend tuning in, and one day maybe you can be a guest on the Gentleman Style podcast. And Marcus, you will 100% get a link to be back on the show because I want part 2.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Tune in for part 2 and on our next episode of the Amazing Authorities podcast. Today's special, unique, talented, wealth of knowledge guest was Marcus Norman from Virginia. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to the Amazing Authorities podcast. If today's episode inspired you, take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It helps more experts like you rise to the top. For behind-the-scenes access and free resources to boost your authority, head to MitchCarson.com. Until next time, stay amazing.